If you want to kill an Andromedan, take them away from society or give them bad friends. Andromedans really, if someone's an Andromedan, they really need to learn to some extent, to keep their own company and enjoy their own company. It's not feasible for them to be alone too much, though. They really crave society. So, you know, the Andromedans, the other thing is a lot of times Andromedans will be like a lot of end parents, a lot of, a lot of narcissistic parents, a lot of narcissistic boyfriends, girlfriends, etc., etc. A lot of those types of people are Andromedans, or Andromedans often end up being those sorts of people. Why? Andromedans are very strong-willed. They're going to talk about, what they want, what they think, and they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you to your face, they're going to tell you straight, and be very, very, kind of frontal about it. And, like, for example, if you have a Andromedan and a Syrian, the Andromedan is going to eclipse the Syrian every time, but the Syrian, and is going to kind of expect the Syrian to be, like, servile to them. But then the Syrian is going to kind of resent that and basically undermine the Andromedan, so, like a lot of people are just more gentle types, especially Andromedans are very, very strong-willed. They're very much want to do things a certain way. Andromedans, their need for society that's sensible, that can contain them, is so strong that, they're the sort of people that are going to hate you for being a conspiracy theorist because society doesn't approve of it, right? Now, Andromedans, they're one of the highest Starseed races, actually, but this is just the truth of what they are. Like, I've heard a few things in a few cases, where Andromedans, like, okay, they can see through a lot of the lies because they are such elevated beings, but they're not like, there has to be sort of a lot of proof and a lot of, like, certainty about it. They're not the sort of person that's, like, practically making up their own conspiracy theories or something. But see, they're sort of the good thing that they can do on Earth. And I'm a little bit want to push back on, like, the whole Starseed mission thing of, oh, we're all here with a mission, and, I want to push back a little bit on the whole Starseed mission thing. I don't know that we all are here. Like, I think we're here, and maybe we might as well have a mission. Or, it's, I wouldn't really, I would say Starseed mission, true will, Dharma, what else? God's will for your life, like to talk Protestant. All that stuff's the same. So I think using the term Starseed mission is really redundant. I don't like it. It also makes it sound like everything is about aliens, and a lot of it is. But I think it's a little bit obtuse to make absolutely everything about aliens. Even on other planets they have Dharma, they have, a lot of the same things, so it doesn't even have to be about aliens per se. I think there's better ways to talk about certain things, but yeah, anyways, their mission is more social. Their mission is more, their function is more social, I should say. They're functioning members of the society that are going to push things in the right direction. They're the sort of people that work in the system to make it better, like, for example, yeah, I mean, probably some unsavory politicians or Andromedans that are maybe somewhat less unsavory than others, or that, maybe try to push some good policies or something. That's a very Andromedan mentality of, like, it's good because everyone else is good, or everyone else is doing something, so, it's kind of practical. The thing is that, when we talk about aliens, aliens, like our view of good and evil is sort of normies, is completely, like, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just, it's our construct here on Earth. Actually, you'll see this with Syrians. Syrians really need there to be this sort of, like Freud said, there needs to be this referee. So there needs to be this very particular moral code that applies in all cases. Like, Syrians are like the perfect cult member almost, because basically Syrian society is very religious, and basically every Syrian planet where the dominant race is Syrians, the whole thing runs like a cult. Perhaps there's not really a leader of the Syrian cults. I think their stuff is a little more almost like the Longhouse or something. I don't know exactly, but yeah. Then Syrians, it's interesting because I don't know if Syrians really spearhead things too much, but they try and be sort of good actors within other things. But I've gotten into so many fights with Syrians on the astral plane, like Syrians, on worlds full of them. That, with people living elsewhere, basically. That, yeah, I just don't trust them. I don't like them too much. So that's sort of my take on them. But I suppose, here in the world, they tend to be a favorite that people like to talk about. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit critical of Syrians, actually. But, I'm wondering about it. I'm Arcturian, so to me, their need for, everything to be... Yeah, their need for there to be, a really meaningful, moral code that binds everything, or for everything to sort of make sense in a very regimented way. It's very hard for me to reconcile as an Arcturian, which we're kind of more similar. We're Luciferians, so we're more similar to Pleiadians. Pleiadians are practically atheistic. It's not that they're atheistic, it's like everything is source energy and stuff. Probably Barbara Marciniak has made sort of she's given us a picture of their religion, I think, and I think that's become very dominant in the New Age channeling space and what have you. Pleiadians are very interesting. Yeah, and they're spread everywhere. Practically, they're sort of template of what they are. They seem to be the collective of aliens that is powerful in our neighborhood of the universe, or of the galaxy, even of the cosmos. Some issue with the word universe there. What are we talking about exactly? Yeah. So it's interesting to see how Starseeds play into different strata, especially since I would say most famous people are going to be Starseeds. You have to understand that, well, first of all, I believe that a lot of people are quote-unquote NPCs. I believe they have souls and stuff. I believe animals have souls, and I believe a blade of grass has a soul, etc., etc. These souls, in my mind, are generated by the animus mundi of the world. And they're unrefined, they're new souls. So, I would say most people are like that. Or, maybe the influx of alien souls is so extreme that something like 30 to 40% of people on Earth now are soul sourced from our own animus mundi. Dolores Cannon would say that these people are actual NPCs. They're soulless junk. That's really funny to me. I think it's really funny because it's not exactly untrue, but it's like a little bit of the harsher side of like the Luciferian view on things. Like all these lesser beings, these, practically these protozoa that are these pesky little insects, like they're practically meaningless. Their opinion doesn't matter, whatever. Um, which this attitude makes me think that the Earth is something of a school or an experiment ground for starseed races. I also believe a lot of human races, or all of them, are aliens. Like I would say Slavs are Pleiadians, Japanese are Arcturian, Chinese are Magellan, etc. I don't know what Aryan, like the gold skinned people, are. I would suppose maybe they're related to Syrians somehow, because, India is very Syrian. I'm not sure if I'm not actually sure if the people there are Syrian, even though their culture is